Should just start. Uh-oh, immediately overloaded. Stop streaming. No. Okay. I think that should fix it. Of course, there would be technical difficulties the first time we tried the podcast, because what podcast would be complete without technical difficulties the first time? Good morning. How are you doing? I am Max. This is my 2-bit 2 cents. This is my amazing Christmas present that I got, holding my delicious cup of coffee. It says that I am golden. You are golden too, by the way. But one of my favorite presents. Got a lot of nice gifts this year for Christmas, but this was my favorite. Well, not favorite, but one of my favorites. This was a special one from my daughter and wife. Cheers, everybody. Hope you're having a good morning. I know I am. I was until the stream crashed out right from the beginning. That's so perfect. In any case, this is the very first episode, welcome, of the 2-bit Sunday morning podcast, which is something I've thought about doing for a while, but I just kind of decided to do today. There's been a lot going on in the news and in places like that, and I do like to talk about these things, so I thought a thing like this might be the way to go. We'll see. I might do more. This is episode 0, so this is sort of a test run, a pilot, if you will, of running this kind of thing. I hope I have a voice that is not too unpleasant to listen to. I did get a thing for my microphone to cover it so that the sounds are not always so harsh, and just making a small adjustment there, and I hope that also is good. People haven't complained, but I just thought this would only improve the sound situation, so I hope it's earning its keep right now here today. So topics for today: Fallout 3 remaster, New Vegas remaster coming soon, maybe. There's a countdown timer on the Fallout portion of Amazon's website that's got people very excited. We'll talk about that. I also wanted to share some thoughts about AI and just what I think of AI now that I've learned a little bit more about it. And we'd go from there. So those are some of the topics that we'll get into. I'll talk as long as I feel like I have something to say. Could be an hour, could be more, could be less. Aiming for about an hour. We'll see. This actually harkens back to something I was doing when I first started making videos on YouTube. I did a thing called, I can't remember, but it was a morning time thing that I would wake up in the morning, I'd get a cup of coffee going, and I would just quick record a short video sharing information on topics that I wanted to talk about that were going on in gaming and whatnot, and that was kind of my thing. I think I even talked about music. Hello there, welcome. I'm doing my podcast. It's brand new. Yay. Yeah. And so this is kind of like a refresh of that kind of thing that I was doing when I first started to do YouTube. So I might do more of these Sunday mornings. I might do less. Like I said, it's just kind of a test run. Yeah, hard launch. Just went into it today. Barfed out a thumbnail this morning and just ground it out. Even though it's not technically morning, some of you might be thinking like, hey, isn't it not morning right now? And in my defense, it's not morning a lot of places right now. So some people, it is morning. So I think it really still works. Hopefully I'll be starting earlier in terms of my day when I do these, but in general, yeah. It's always morning somewhere, so it kind of always fits. And, as somebody who's been doing YouTube, like attempting YouTube for kind of a little while now, you look at a lot of videos on YouTube about making videos on YouTube, and I find there's far too many videos that what they tell you to do. They're like, how to make great videos on YouTube, and you click on it and you're like, yeah, let's find out. And they're like, you know what you should do if you want to make great videos on YouTube? You should make videos that people are gonna like, and you should make videos about things that you're interested in and that you're good at. And it's like, wow, thanks a lot. Like, if I was good at things, I wouldn't need to make videos on YouTube, you fucking moron. That's the most useless piece of advice ever. I also was going to try to not swear so much on here. We'll see how well that goes. But yeah, anyway, useless piece of advice. It's just not, I don't know why people even bother making videos about that. It's like making a video where it's like, to be good at hypnotism, you should study what hypnotists do. It's like, thanks. That's just so good. That's sort of what I thought I was doing, but whatever. So anyway, that was my thing into here. The nice thing, though, is I'm good enough at this kind of thing that I don't need to use like AI. Like, whenever you watch any of my videos, you can tell a person made this. Like, you're never going to think, wow, a really high level computer made this. No mistaking that. No, this was definitely made by a regular human being for sure, as far as you know. I'm not an actual, like, Haley Joel Osment, like, robot. But you never know. In any case, AI is increasingly everywhere, it seems. We're seeing commercials made in AI. I can hardly look at my YouTube thing without running into some kind of AI material. Thank you. Thank you for loving my flawed, imperfect stuff. AI does ruin everything. Yeah. I agree. Human-made is the best. And that's the thing I've been learning about AI, is that AI is stupid and wastes a lot of resources for no reason at all. Like, every time you search on Google now and you're getting those AI results on Google, you might as well just pour like an entire bottle of water out into like the sewage or whatever, because you're just wasting that water to get the same result you could have gotten from what Google was giving you before. And I hate that. Like, why does it have to pollute? It doesn't. Why do we need it to be so polluting? Like, the internet already polluted a lot. It used a ton of like fossil fuels or gasoline or whatever, and water, but now we've just hyped that up to basically get the same kind of quality thing at best that we were getting before, and sometimes it's not even that good. Like, the McDonald's had that stupid commercial over the thing where they were like, don't we all hate Christmas? Like, isn't the most popular holiday in all of America? Isn't that like the worst, and doesn't everyone hate that? Go to McDonald's. Like, that was just, the people who made that ad said they spent 7 months making that ad, and it was absolute hot trash. Like, it was just straight up smelly garbage. And they said it took them 7 months. And I know that they lied, because the whole point of AI, the only reason I think they're saving any money using AI to make commercials, is because they can just fart that out in 2 seconds and they don't need to pay anybody to do it. They can just suddenly have it. That's where you're saving most of your money, I would think, when you're using AI to make a commercial, right? So that's the benefit. So turning around and being like, no, this commercial isn't bad. It's not just some kind of piece of shit we just farted out through this machine. It took us 7 months to make that ad. And it's like, but if it took you 7 months to make that, that actually makes you fucking incompetent. That makes you stupid. 7 months? How many shitty things did you roll through in 7 months just typing in commands on your computer over and over, 8 to 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, or more maybe, because you were working so damn hard to end up with that commercial? That's not the brag you think it is. It's at best a sign of your incompetence, and at worst it's a sign you're just lying, because it's not true. Because it's just not true. You're just trying to make it seem like it's a better thing than it actually is. And that's the thing. Just because the thing happens faster doesn't actually make it better. It might make it cheaper, but it makes it cheaper all the way around. It makes it worse from all sides. It doesn't improve. it doesn't know when a thing is good or not. It just knows when it's done the most popular kind of thing for that kind of thing. And then it's just constantly reinforcing itself in that. So, in any case, I hate that. And I hate AI. It's ruining gaming. You have NVIDIA. No one wants to make RAM anymore. NVIDIA doesn't want to make graphics cards anymore because they want to dump it all into generative AI bullshit that they're making us use. Like, you can't even on your phone turn off those AI results from Google. You're just stuck doing that. So every time you're searching on Google, you're just masturbating the AI machine to waste more water and more shit. And they're like, gosh, I guess demand for AI is going up. We better reinvest that. It's like you're literally forcing it on us. You're making people have to use it, and then you're using that as an example of how demand is going up, when the truth is it's completely artificial demand that you've created, that you've mandated. It's not because it's what people want. I hardly talk to anybody anymore who wants AI. Let's check it out here for a second. My favorite part about AI is it's a perfect replacement for executive management, but executive management is trying to use it to replace customer service. That's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. That is a very funny take on that. Is coming up big and starting to manufacture RAM. Good shout out to AMD. I also heard Asus, don't know, ASUS. They are going to ramp up AI and graphic card production in 2026 to make up for that as well. So that is super, super duper hot, and I love that. We'll see if they can match, the demand. I don't know if they'll be, I don't know enough about them, but I'm suspicious that they're not going to be a big enough company to meet the demand. I don't know. Maybe they are. But that's my biggest concern. NVIDIA is just so big. They were supplying so much of it, and then they're going to fall off. Is Asus a company that can match that, like make up the difference on their own? AMD helping too, that certainly bolsters my feeling that can happen. But yeah. I also heard AMD is also trying to invest more in the AI stuff too, so they might be trying to have it both ways. I don't know if that's possible. Like, I was suspicious that the reason NVIDIA dropped the graphics cards was they were in a position that they had to, that they wouldn't be able to do both. And they were like, well, this will make more money. Because I think if they could do both, they would do both. Because why would you sacrifice one cash cow if you could have two cash cows, right? So I think that they couldn't do that. So I'm just curious, like, how much of this are these companies going to do that? And then when their stocks start responding, are they going to start doing what NVIDIA was doing too? So I want to hear something that shows like a real commitment, like, no, we're in this for the long haul. And I don't know how you could feel that way until that happens for a few years and they make up what NVIDIA is not doing. I don't know. There's just a lot of unknowns right now, but it is good that there are some companies stepping up. We'll see if it lasts. I'm very suspicious of most corporations right now. To be honest, I just don't trust them to always do the right thing. I mean, there's got to be some good corporations out there, right, with like decent like structural value, but it's hard to tell them apart from other corporations sometimes, since corporations in general feel empty and faceless and soulless, and it's hard to apply it to a single person sometimes. It's, and we like having a face. We like having a thing. We trust faces, but it's hard to trust a building or a logo the same way you trust someone's face. I don't know. Yeah. Tried a few times and it works. Oh, when you type in into Google at the end of your query, add -AI. Tried it a few times and it works. Oh. All right. We'll try that right now. All right, I'm going to Google. Take your time, really. It's okay. You don't need to load up fast. It's not like I'm trying to do a show right now or something. There it is. Okay. So we'll just search waffle pictures. Because why not? Everyone likes waffles. Minus, how did you write that? No space, minus AI. Okay. There it goes. They're like, you spelled pictures wrong. Okay, well, nobody's perfect. Get off my ass, Google. Don't fucking judge me right now. And I don't see an AI there. That is great. That is great. That is a super hot trick. Let's try. What is the capital of Spain, I guess. Minus AI. Madrid, no AI answers. Scrolling down, no AI answers. So that's legit. That works on my tablet in a browser. I don't use the Google search bar app thing. I just don't use that. I open a tab. Maybe I'm weird like that. I don't know. Leave a comment about how you search on Google, but that's how I do it. And now you can just type in minus AI. I wonder if that works in that app too. That's great, because I was literally trying to find a way to do it, and I figured out how to do it on my computer so I could type it in and it would never do it. That's a whole other process. But it is possible, but I couldn't find one to do it on my device. So that's a great tip. Type in minus AI at the end of your Google search, and that will hook you up. Spread the word. I might even make a short out of this just to let people know, because that is useful. Google dorking. Yeah. Google dorking. You know, a dork is here's a fun fact for you. This is how you know this is an educational video. Educational video, YouTube. So you can't demonetize. I'm allowed to do things now that other YouTubers can't do because I'm educating people. So a dork is actually a whale dick. And that's a fact. You can look it up. A whale dick is a dork. And that's where that comes from. So technically it's called Google whale dicking, just in case you were wondering. Teaching the masses about all kinds of useful stuff. I don't know if I can say the word dick without them being mad at me. I don't know how they do that. I hear people call each other a dick all the time, but can I call a dick? I don't know. We're going to find out tonight, or this morning, on Sunday morning. Yeah, well, so far I think this is going pretty good. How long have I been talking? 17 minutes? That's not bad, right? I mean, I think that's pretty good. If I seem cold, it's because I am, because I turned off my space heater, and I'm in a basement, and so it's cold now. Ugh. Yeah, and you can tell it's the morning because the lava lamps haven't been on very long, and they are not lava lamping very much. That one's trying, but it's a slow process. It's a slow process. Yeah, I still have the Christmas wreath up. There it is. I don't know. I just liked it, and I don't have a place to put it, and so I just moved it over, and it lives there now. So that's to clear up all the controversy about the wreath. I know people have just been clamoring about it. That's why it's there. So ta-da. All right. So I think we're cool to move on to the next topic. That sounded crazy. The whale penis thing sounded crazy. I'll assume that's what you're talking about because I think that sounds pretty crazy if you ask me. Okay, so the next thing that's kind of been on my radar, maybe it's been on some of your radars too, is that there is a countdown timer that has popped up on Amazon's Fallout TV show website. There's like an interactive thing that you can do there and blah, 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 etc. You can go check it out if you want. But when you look at the map, there is a location on the map that has a timer that's ticking down to a day, which is February 4th, which is actually the day the last episode of the Fallout series is supposed to come out. And people are clamoring for a Fallout 3 remake and a New Vegas, not remake, but remaster, and New Vegas remaster. And a lot of people think that's coming then. And so that's the big question. Is that what's coming then? I think we should all really get our hopes up. Hopes? Uh, but no, actually, don't get your hopes up. Like, pump the brakes. Like, this could be a lot of things, and there's no real reason to believe that's what it's about to be. I don't want to bury the lead too much on this, so I'm just going to say I don't really think that's what it is. It should be that. I mean, if Bethesda cared at all about trying to, tie in with the show and using that to market, like they say the games the way that they say they are, they should already have had the remasters like ready to friggin' go, beginning of season, end of season, somewhere. Would have made a lot of sense, because the show, money, I don't know. They say they care about money, but they're really messing up the relationship between the show and the games. But what could it be? What is it counting down to? What does the timer mean? If it's not going to be those, which is what everyone wants, then what could it be? So I have some thoughts on what it could be. It could be something really lame. Oh, and something before we get into it. I think something that's important to remember is that it's not really Bethesda's marketing that's created this. This is Amazon's marketing, and they're using it to market the show. That's Amazon's investment. Now, could there still be like a tie over where they're like working together? Maybe you can get like an exclusive version of it on disc through Amazon. Amazon has had more special edition like steelbox cases for DVDs, like Blu-rays and 4K stuff for movies. And so they could go that way for the remaster. Maybe they have a special steelbook remaster you can only get through Amazon. So there is still room for that to be the show, or to be the situation for it to be the remaster. But more likely, it's going to be about the show, right? And the countdown is probably going to be announcing, I'm guessing, season 3 of the show. Like, I think people are going to get all their panties all in a wad, and then it's going to turn out that this is actually about the TV show. That they're going to be announcing the next location that they're going to in the series, with this location that's counting down on the map, and they're going to be like season 3, and maybe they'll even have a date that feels somewhat close, given we had to wait so long between season 1 and season 2, and maybe that's the big reveal, like, hey, this is all going to come back in the fall, so be excited because season 3 is coming and this is where we're going, the same way they got people excited for season 2 showing New Vegas. That makes a lot of sense to me, and I think that's what that's going to be. More likely than anything. I didn't want to save that all for the end. That's really what I think it is. I would bet money on it. That's my prediction. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with Bethesda, but that won't stop people from getting angry at Bethesda, because Bethesda has burned away so much trust with gamers that they're just so thirsty for them to give them something they want, that they see this and they're like, oh, it must now be the time for them to give us something we actually want right now. So thirsty. Is it time for water yet? But it's not. They're gonna be the ghoul, and they're gonna drink some and pour it out on the dirt, and that's gonna be the way that goes. So brace yourself. And if I'm wrong and it is the remasters, that sounds great. I will stream that shit because I love Fallout 3. But I don't think it will be. Haven't seen season 2 yet. But I have a vacation next week, so it will be time to catch up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am trudging through season, not trudging, but I'm going over is what I'm trying to say. Season 1. And then we're going to try to pick up season 2 so that we can be done before the finale, so we can catch that real time and be all caught up then. We'll see. It's a low pressure thing. No reason to stress yourself out about watching a TV show. There's enough to be stressed out about. But, yeah, but what else could it be, right? It could also be, well, wouldn't it be fun if it was something else? And so here's my long shot for what I think it could be if it's not the remasters and it's not what I just suggested it was, the announcement of season 3. What if it actually is a real announcement for a new entry in the Fallout universe, like a New Vegas kind of thing? Like we're cooperating with somebody to make a game, Obsidian or or whoever. They're not going to do Obsidian again, I don't think. I think that ship has sailed. But with somebody. There's a lot of people under the umbrella at Microsoft. I think even Amazon has said in the past that they're interested in getting in game development. Maybe they already have, for all the fuck I know. They might have. And so that could also be a connected correlation, that we could actually be looking at a new entry in Fallout. If Bethesda has any interest in trying to make Fallout a thing that feels like it has a future and not something that's going to come in the next decade, in 2030 something, they need to do something, because doing nothing should be not an option. Like, they should be busting their asses to figure out a way to provide new Fallout content between now and then. The show could be over by 2030. The show could have run its course and be all done, and they could not have a new entry in the series. And if they do that, that's a failure. That's an absolute failure on Bethesda's part. Having one of the most popular TV shows based on one of your properties, and you don't release one new game during that period of time, a 5, 6, 7 year period of time, you done fucked up, Aaron. That's just not the way that's supposed to go, Todd. You're supposed to have this shit fucking worked out. This shit should be worked out. And that's why, if it's not the remasters, this is the thing, it should be the remasters. This shouldn't just be some bogus ass announcement about the thing. And I know it's not Bethesda and all this stuff, but it should be Bethesda. It fucking should be. They should be doing stuff right now. They should already have these things set up and ready to go. If they're more than a year away, they fucked up. They fucked up. It's the worst kept secret that these things existed. Same with the Oblivion remaster. We know these things are out because there was that leaked thing however many years ago. You can look it up. There was a product release schedule going back right before 2020, and there was a delay, and everything, all the releases that they've had have matched up with an adjusted timeline in terms of that. So Fallout 3 remaster and New Vegas remaster, we know fucking exist, just not in an official capacity. Todd Howard likes to shadow drop, whatever, blah blah blah. The point is that can't be the only thing you're planning. That should be the beginning. If the only thing they release between now and the end of the TV show is the remasters, they should all be fired. Bethesda should just be broken up almost completely, or totally re-controlled by Microsoft. And I can't even believe I'm saying that. But if you're Microsoft and you bought ZeniMax Studios and everything that came with it, you bought it because they have Fallout. You bought it because they have the Elder Scrolls. You bought it because they have these properties that gamers want. And they have no plans to release these things. They have nothing even in the works, and they're not willing to let anyone else touch it or see it or breathe on it. You got to be thinking, we will disband you immediately and just take over your properties and give them to other studios. There are studios that have worked on Fallout games that are under, and games like them, under Bethesda or under Microsoft's umbrella. I mean, Microsoft doesn't necessarily need Bethesda as a studio. They just want their IP, and rightly or wrongly, I'm not necessarily justifying that, but as a business-driven industry, as a money-driven industry rather, it's bad business. It's just straight up bad business. And I don't know how it's possible Bethesda has become simultaneously the most money-grubbing company and also a company that doesn't know how to capitalize on obvious things that they could make money on from gamers. They just don't listen to their audience at all. They just don't listen to their audience. They create hype around things people don't care about. I mean, people remember the Fallout Day big release. They built that up so much only to have a whole bunch of new merch they wanted people to buy. The Fallout, or the New Vegas Anniversary Edition, was a joke. And the anniversary for Fallout 4 re-broke the game. Have they even fixed that yet? They keep saying they're going to. Is that game functional on the most recent patch? Is it? Because I don't think it is yet. And I don't know how you can bust a game and then ask people to pay $50 or $60 for it again And you know, some people can't even access their DLCs. It says that they fucked it up so bad that the game doesn't recognize they've bought their DLCs, and so they can't access them. And there's nothing that Steam can do or PlayStation can do or any of them can do, because it's actually Bethesda's fault. It's in the game files got fucked up, and that's why it can't tell. And they haven't fixed that yet. I'm pretty sure they still haven't fixed that. And that is insane. That is insane. They are offering such an inferior level of product more and more and more, and yet somehow, in the name of money, and yet somehow they can't take advantage of obvious things that gamers have been asking for years. It's just nuts. I mean, Elder Scrolls 6, I feel like is going to make or break that company. And I don't even know when that's supposed to come out. Optimistically, I think it comes out Shadow Drop sometime next year. Probably, if it doesn't come out next year, I don't think Bethesda's really been working on it for very long, and that means that they, like Rockstar, just rested on their laurels too long in between. And I just don't know how a company of their size can't figure out how to make a schedule that promotes consistent releases of their products, unless it's a problem with people at the top micromanaging or being too precious about the intellectual properties. Like, I have a feeling it has to move that slow because Todd Howard has this kind of like, I need to be involved in each little project, and I need to be like the head of each one, and I can't hand it all the way over off to other people and like just pop in. I need to be, and I can appreciate from a creative standpoint needing that, but from a business standpoint, you're fucking this up. Like, and it's really not all you. Like, this isn't the Todd Howard show. You have a staff of hundreds, thousands of people, developers, artists, that are part of making this happen. And if your whole and honestly, your world building isn't so good that we just have to have you. You aren't really what makes it so good. The base ideas of Elder Scrolls and Fallout are so strong that you could hand that to anybody, and I think that they could do something good with it as long as they understand the core idea of the thing, which is why Bethesda made games for Fallout that weren't that good, but they were still able to find entertainment enjoying it just because the world feels so rich, the lore is so rich, and that doesn't really have anything to do with them. So I think Todd Howard is overrated. The first time I ever heard him talk, I called him a used car salesman. This guy just promises the world and delivers nothing. I don't really trust him. I think he's the kind of guy who smiles while he does douchey things and makes bad decisions. And I think he actually has a gigantic ego, but his ego is wrapped up in not needing you to think that he has an ego and needing him to like him and think he's cool. He really wants to be viewed as like this rock star kind of guy because he was a nerd his whole life, but he's just not. He's just not. And I don't think that he's creatively that special. I think he would be better if he was more hands off, like general ideas, like the way that the Star Wars guy is. What's his name? George Lucas. George Lucas is really good at coming up with like a general story. Like, if you listen to him talk about how he imagined the whole arc in the world of Star Wars and how he imagined that all fitting together, it's fascinating. Like, if you were a producer, you would have given him money right away. But when you read his scripts that he writes himself, they are hot fucking garbage, because being able to come up with a good story and then being able to write a good story are not the same thing, right? One is the general arc, and then the other has to make it feel real and tangible, and not just this idea that we have here. And they're two different skills, and not everybody has both of them. And Todd Howard doesn't have both of them. Like, he has really good broad ideas, and he should really let other people execute more of it and be more hands off with stuff. Also, the writer at Bethesda is stupid, and I hate him. The guy who wrote Starfield and Fallout 4, he's a moron. And I don't remember his name, but I just kind of discovered him recently, and that guy is just like the most egotistical like person who's just like, my writing isn't bad, you all are just stupid. And it's like, okay, that's not exactly I'm paraphrasing, but that wasn't exactly the most diplomatic response to criticisms of your writing. Yes. Bethesda really has fucked everyone too many times. It's true, though. It's true. And the sad thing is, they still think. Here's the rub on Bethesda. I think that we still have the most reason to have hope for Bethesda. As sad as everything is, um, like, as greedy as they are, and they don't treat their customer base really well. That's kind of just true across the board with all the major developers and publishers in the gaming world now. So it's really not that uncommon, but I do get the sense from them more that they still just aren't so deeply lost in that they are, like, abusive to their developers like Rockstar is, or things like that. Like, I think that their problem is that they're out of touch with what people want. I don't think that they're fully maliciously just trying to give us the middle finger. I think it's sort of like a really nice, well-intentioned rich person who doesn't understand why all the poor people just don't get jobs, because they just don't understand why that's not a possibility. And Bethesda just doesn't understand why people aren't. Why aren't you excited about the anniversary edition? We worked so hard. We're working on fixing your game. Why are you so upset? Like, they don't get it. And so, like, blind, unintentional, unaware, thoughtless incompetence is slightly better than willful evilness. And there's a little bit of greed. There's a little bit of actual greed in there with Bethesda still. Yeah, I mean, it's sad that given how shitty they are, they're, like, probably one of the better mainstream ones left. Depending on what happens with the Elder Scrolls 6, which could be 3 years away or more. And unless they made a new engine for it to run on, which I highly doubt. I had a funny theory about it, actually, was that if it does take a long time, unless they made that engine, which they didn't, they probably started over, maybe, too, or they just waited too long. But it's possible they could have started over. That, like, they got to a point and they were like, Starfield happened, and they were like, this generative stuff is going to be so great. We're going to be able to do so much with what we did in Starfield with these planets, this pre-generated or automatically generated or whatever the fuck it was planets that we have. We'll be able to use that in the Elder Scrolls, and they were starting to do that. And then people were like, this is such hot fucking trash, and they were like, actually, let's not do that. And it's possible they had to completely change the direction of the development of Elder Scrolls, and maybe even, like, go back to the drawing board in terms of how they were building up the game and the world, which would have been wild. So that's a theory too. Or they just fucked the dog so hard for so long, just resting on their laurels, making expansions to, have Skyrim on your phone and on your tablet and on your refrigerator and on your toilet and, whatever the fuck. That they just were like, damn, we waited too long. We waited too long. Also, I bet you Grand Theft Auto 6 gets delayed again. I've just been thinking about it more and more, and I think they're going to miss it. I just have this strange feeling. Or they're going to release this absolutely fucking broken game and just make us all eat it on day one. I could see that happening too. It would really be a nail in the coffin for Rockstar if that happened. But, yeah, I guess there it is. We'll see. We'll see what happens. The Saudi Arabia deal was approved by the shareholders by a majority, so that's moving forward on the next steps. So get all your EA properties that you want access to now, because after this summer, I think it's looking more and more like you're going to be funding Saudi Arabia and specifically the government of Saudi Arabia. And they're so nice over there. They love the news. They pay close attention to what people say on the news over there. Yeah, so I guess that's what's on my mind this morning. It's been kind of fun. We did this for about 40 minutes, and I think that's pretty good. It's been nice spending this morning with you, and it is the morning somewhere. Tune in next Sunday. I might be back next Sunday. Streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and bi-weekly Fridays. If you enjoyed this, give a like, maybe share it with somebody. Let them know it exists. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching, subscribe. Always helps the channel out. Really appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you remember to be good to yourself. Thank you. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Remember to be good to yourself. Peace.